Oh, there you are. Gosh, that always startles me because
Sorry, yeah,
no, because I'm looking at something else and it's
yeah. All of
underneath.
a sudden, here I pop in.
No,
Uh,
it's okay. Usually I
I,
have
I
just
do see
sitting
that
here
it's
waiting.
I do see that it's recording, so that's a good.
Yes. You know, I put
Yeah,
something
always.
on my machine to make sure I wouldn't forget.
um,
But yeah, I
Oh,
mean, other than those few memories, I was
wait.
good. Yeah.
Okay,
It
we'll refrain. Yeah,
was funny.
other than that,
Yeah, no, yesterday, well, not yesterday, the night before, I got notice in our email because I monitor our credit through AAA. It's a free service, and I get this 5 emails all saying that Chris, your account's been breached or something. So I log in and look it up, and it's his social security number was found on the dark web 5 different times. So I got 5 emails. So I called him at work. It was like 4:30 or 5 to let him know because his company provides identity protection through Allstate. And the last time this happened to him, it was his phone number about a month ago, but he looked up the Allstate stuff and they showed everything was fine. And so I call him thinking, okay, we'll log in at work and check it out. You've got your laptop with you. And he comes home about 45 minutes later at like anxiety level 10. He's yelling and angry, and I can't talk to him. And I'm showing him this, and he's got his laptop. I got my laptop, and whatever. And finally, after a while, I said, Chris, I said, I think it's more likely to trust the company that uses because I wouldn't sign a contract with some company that was low level bullshit. Your employees, basically, or employees. And I said, I think that they would select someone with a higher level software or whatever. I said, so the last time this wasn't a problem, this time I don't think it is either.
yeah.
And it was from that company, that national data, something that had a breach of like a 1.5 million or 2 billion people. I don't remember what it was, but I'm looking at all the details and it's all from things 25 years or older. I said, well, this was an address when you were living with Lisa, and this is an address, but so all these things are over 20 years old. I said, yeah, your social's out there and your phone number and all the links that it had, the AAA that sent me the letter said, well, these are the steps you need to take. And it was like, contact all the credit companies. And so I'm going through the links, looking at them, and they want you to mail them snail mail a letter with a copy of your ID. It can't be a magazine subscription. It's got to be your literal government issued ID. And I'm thinking, I'm not doing that.
Mm.
And so I'm telling Chris this, and he's just bouncing off the walls for like an hour. And again, I repeated the fact I don't think anyone would sign contract, blah, blah, blah. I said, so I'm more likely to trust Allstate that your company uses than AAA, which every Joe Schmo smuck at the lowest levels have access to. And then it dawned on me, I thought, well, what a coup that would be for AAA and Equifax, because that's who this company is, to get together and say, well, there's this data breach thing going on. I wonder if we could use that to our advantage.
I see. That's what I think is
And
going on.
some sort of marketing ploy to get all these people scared and nervous, mail their information in and sell them services. And I'm trying to explain this to Chris,
Hmm.
and he just can't absorb it. Because his first reaction to anything, even one time when I told him Joe was having trouble in school, is to blow up and flip out for like an hour or two. He just can't. He immediately goes to level 8. He can't, he doesn't go to level 1 or 4. He immediately goes to level 8. You know what I mean? And I've learned that over the years. So finally, by, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock at night, he was calmer. And then yesterday, we didn't even discuss it at all. And then this morning, I got 5 more emails, same problem with my name. And I'm thinking, okay,
Yeah.
just because it covers monitors me, Chris, Joe, both of his daughters. He said, well, every time Casey or Kelly do something, I get a notice, you know? And I said, well, I don't. I said, so I think this AAA thing, it's a free service. We have a member, the auto play, I said, it's just probably some low-level marketing ploy. And they're just taking advantage of a situation and using fear. And he finally calmed down. So, but that incident got some parts in me pissed off. Thinking, why does he always got to be a son of a bitch? And why does it? Why? And so yesterday he stayed home until about noon and he worked. I was in the office posting stuff on YouTube and all that and doing video stuff. And he was doing his work stuff and getting anxiety because he didn't know how to work this document, which was a PowerPoint. So I was able to go over and help him and show him how easy it was. I said, it's not you, honey. It's just, it happens to everybody. If you have a lack of mass when you're learning something, if you're learning about a bicycle and you don't have a bicycle in front of you, it will cause you anxiety. I said, it's a natural reaction. You just have to set to the side and keep trying. But like I said, he always goes to with that, it was probably like a level 4. But other real world stuff, he immediately goes to level 8. Anyway, so because of that, I forgot. Usually when I have a parts discovery first thing the next day, I'll fill it all in. But I thought I don't want to do this while Chris is here because I don't flow right. I don't feel comfortable. And so after he left, I just went into making a video and I forgot all about them, but I'm having anxiety all day and all day. And I go hit Ted 2 or 3 different times yesterday and probably 5 minutes each time and really powerful blows too, but it wasn't going away. And finally it's 4:30 and I'm thinking, well, am I anxious because Chris is about to get home? What is it? And then it dawned on me, no, I haven't recorded my new parts. And so I sat down, I spent the next hour putting all the charts and all the graphs and all that. And when I was done, my anxiety went from like an 8 down to like a 2. And then once I sat down and, it was chilling out, it disappeared. And all of it was about them not being treated the same way the others weren't. Because I was kind of tired by the time I was done with the video. And I said to him, I said, well, how about if we just do that tomorrow, guys? And the anxiety just got worse. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. I just sat down and did it. And just slowly.
You're running a foster home now.
Yeah, it just slowly dissipated. And I was tripped out at how, because they're aware of the process and they wanted the process done. They wanted their emotional checklist done. They wanted to be on the graph.
What have you done to yourself now? You know it so well.
Yeah, they wanted existence. And I thought, oh, wow, okay. So I ate dinner and I thought, well, I'm going to go take a bath and relax some more. And as I was laying there, it suddenly, something hit me that was about, the chart I made for the intensity levels, level 1 to 2, the suppressed level, the repressed, whatever. And I was thinking about how could I give instructions for people to use that? Because, and then it hit me, I thought, I've got so many parts. What if I just had 30? I said, would my level 2 be a level 4 for them? Or because I have so many, I thought, whatever. And then it suddenly hit me. I thought, I wonder if God created, because he creates the disassociation, right? And I thought, well, does God find a way, like if your level 1 gets too full, then he pushes them down to the next level. And if that level gets too full, he pushes them down. And if, all the way down. And I was getting the vibe that, yeah, that's what happens. And so that's why I have so many. I thought, oh my God, I should get up and look on my chart and see the percentage that I have in each category. And sure enough, John, it's like not a perfect, division, but it's like 25% plus or minus 1% in each category. So I was thinking, well, I've got to explain this to other people that, their level, my 2 could be a 4 for them. And
Right.
that, if you find that you have a gazillion parts on level, you're repressed, that maybe you've got just as many on level 2 and level 1 and level 4. They're just not revealed yet. So
Yeah.
that's what I spent the morning doing, was going through that. And anyway, so with a
Wow.
real aha.
That's invaluable.
And I thought, wow, I wonder if John ever thought about that. And if not, whatever. Because
You're taking
the,
it to the next level. No,
the
and
brain only has so much room. I mean, I'm sure
absolutely.
it's infinite if you had 500 parts, but I think God would keep dividing and splitting and trying to give you a balance so that you're not completely manic.
There you go.
You
Right?
know
'Cause,
what I mean? Or
um,
manic or depressive or suicidal or whatever.
yeah.
And I wonder if that's why some people do get suicidal, because they don't have a balance.
Mhm.
Or obviously their suicide part was triggered, but I keep thinking, why have I never thought about suicide ever? I mean, every once in a while, you're standing somewhere, you think, well, I could just step out right in front of this bus if I want to. But I don't think that's from a part. I think that's like a demon maybe taunting you or something.
Mhm.
I watched a guy talk about schizophrenia, and he said schizophrenics have that kind of talk all the time.
Mhm.
So I thought, well, okay, that's a separate deal. But I was like, wow, that's kind of cool, because God would split you into parts, but then he's also splitting your brain
Yeah.
to balance it out. So that was fascinating. So and it was like probably 9 o'clock by then, and I was energized by the realization of it. I thought, oh, well, go sit down in the computer and figure it out. And I did. And then I'm like, okay, guys, I'm gonna remember this. So why don't I record it in the morning, that the whole idea, and they're like, okay.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I just thought that was fascinating, that the anxiety was all about, they wanted existence. We want our existence. And that's what all those steps are, is giving them existence in reality.
There you go.
And yeah, finding their picture. And then they wanted a new picture right away and a new name right away. It's an automatic thing now. They're like, we know the deal. We've already decided.
All right.
Yeah, it's like the last 5 or 6 parts, when I've discovered them and go to get their old picture. I say, well, would you like, okay, here's your old one. Would you like a new one? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, here's your old name. Would you like a new one? Yeah. And I always go into Google and type in girl names, and they'll say, I want it to start with a P or a J or a Q. And okay. And then we scroll through and they pick something. And if they pick a name, I think, that kind of has associations with Satanism, maybe you should pick something else. They'll go, okay. It's amazing to me how cooperative they are.
That's why Diana, you've done such a tremendous job in
Just
being able to accept the reality of this, right? And so
just
that's
embrace, yeah, and we're
that's
just
such a key part,
what are those, Chris? Embrace the suck. That's what they,
right?
yeah.
And so because of that, look at the information you have received. And so that really is such a key threshold.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm trying to, when I go through these instructions, as I fine-tuned it a little more since I sent it to you, it's like, well, how is this going to, if I'm a person that doesn't even, kind of like, which I should tell you, it's about 3 days ago, she sent me a text and said, I don't know if John told you or not, but my son died. And I said, no, he didn't. I'm so sorry. And we had to exchange back and forth. And she said, well, I'll try and call you next week, which is this week. And she hasn't. I thought, well, I'll just wait for her to reach out again. But so I'm trying to think of somebody like her, if she were to receive this file of information. She hasn't even, I don't know yet, but written down a part name on a piece of paper, let
It's
alone
that threshold that,
organize 30 of them or 50 of them or whatever. So it's like,
and that's such a big part,
I'm like, how do you get to that stage? And I thought, well, your videos on the football field would be helpful.
yeah.
I guess I should just show you now while we're
Yeah,
talking.
show
I've
me.
only got those three journals and they're very short, so we could do that later. But
But it's such a key, your everything from your who you are to your presentation to the whole package deal. What's so powerful about this is um, you're very left brain, so you're very analytical, and
I don't
therefore,
really.
right, and therefore it's very normalized. Here you are, you've got all this trauma, yet you're just methodically working through and you're talking people through it. So as far as the process, so it's very powerful um, what you are offering to survivors.
Well,
Um,
and you know what hit me too is every single job I've ever had, when you start your job, you know how you have 1,000 items coming at you and you have to find a way to make a routine.
that's right.
Well, I've always created a checklist and then
Yep.
as time went on, altered it to make it more efficient. So, because I always worked in retail and you don't want to be walking across 1,000-foot store 80 times. You want your routine to take you in a big circle and you can get the stuff done without wearing yourself physically.
Yeah,
And so it occurred to me, well, that's all you're doing right now. You got a new job and you're making your checklist.
there you
How
go.
can I do this the most effective way? And instead of having all these different points scattered all over, well, and I thought, wow, I'm just making my work checklist.
There you go. That's right.
Work.
Very methodical.
Anyway, so I added a new tab to the folder, which was 0, because I didn't want to have to renumber everything throughout. And I thought, okay, 0, the beginning. Uh, there we go. So, oh, dang. Okay, well, hopefully that'll go away. So I just said hello. I was trying to, let people know. I remember my SRA in October. It's now September. I've uncovered 101 parts in 10 months so far. I discovered Jon Uhler on the Imagination podcast and watched his interview about D.I.D. Contacted him because I wanted to be concise. I still watched his videos and it helps immensely. You will have some mental hurdles to overcome first. So I thought, well, they could, and I need to find your football field videos. I couldn't find those on Amazon. It's not on your playlist. So
Oh,
whenever
I
you
can,
could send me the links for those, I'd like to put those in
yeah.
here first. And
Okay.
then, so that'll go right here. And I put videos to start with. And I'm even giving instructions for people who don't know how to use the computer. Hold the control button and click. So I put understanding stage and process of therapy for survivors, and then understanding the underlying dynamics and triggers. So those two are the first two most important. Is first, or I'll send this to you, and if you think something else should go in there, like I said, just put it in red, and I
Okay,
can
that's
put
fine.
that in. But I just couldn't find those videos, but
Yeah, I'll get those
I
for you.
didn't deep dive looking for them either. And then I put, okay, so the next stage was I put your playlist on Emma's, right? And I said, and finally, you can do this.
Good for you.
So
Good for you.
that's beginning. All right. So, but yeah, I thought, because the hurdles are laid out better than I could ever explain them. So I thought, well, start with this. Okay, what's therapy about? Whatever, because it's kind of like they're going to be doing their own therapy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then this is still the same name, new part checklist, timelines and parts lives. Oh, this is the PowerPoint. I did add some stuff this morning. Um,
This is so good, Diana, what you're putting together.
Yeah, so they don't know how many hours. And what I did was I put on here.
Let them out of their cages. That's right.
That's funny because when I look at this, when we're not on Zoom, I cannot see these lines or colors. But when I'm on Zoom, I can. So I'm grateful that it will show because I'm thinking maybe I'll contact Emma and she can interview me and I'll go over this.
That slide right there, are you intending on the italicized red bottom?
Yeah.
That be there, let there be no walls?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
But rare is the time I have attention to detail.
Oh, really? Okay. And then I put the link for, did I put the link for Gray's mind file? I put it in the other mind file. So the link to Gray's interview, do I want to show you in here? Oh, I think I just said that this is really my dream life. I've always wanted to live in a log cabin house in the mountains. Um, oh, here we go. I put my parts can choose wherever they want to live, alone or in groups. They can move wherever they want and to wherever they want. I have about 20 extra rooms scattered throughout. Most like hanging out in groups. Some like to live alone or with one other. Children are with adults. Just to let people know that you can create rules and boundaries.
That's wonderful.
There was a point when I realized, oh, this was what I was missing. This was the TED talk that I put up. I said, when I realized my cult members were dug into their ideology.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know that. And they switched, but I added another
That is
part.
such a perfect title for this. You're funny. That's great. It's absolutely great.
Oh, here's the tab. I said I highly recommend watching the videos to see if someone you know is a pig. So I put your pig and warthog assessments on
Oh,
here.
okay.
And all they
Okay.
have to do is click it, it goes straight there. I've never done that before. And this was what I was missing. I had to work out the 5% of loyal cult members still. Then my MK Ultra SRA firewalls presented. They needed to know something before changing. This is what I realized and told them. You know this, but this is what I added about what I put in the video. Said that their ideology was that they wanted to be in the power position in order to survive. I acknowledged that was an excellent strategy then, but they are my age now, and my body's still living with me. The perps are not around anymore. I said, it is the perps who may come for us now. To be in the power position, the only way to win against Satanism is to accept Jesus, because Jesus wins all the time. And the perps know this. That's why they lied to you. So if they want to keep their purpose of being in the power position, the only way they can do this is to have Jesus as their savior, simply saying Jesus to the perp will protect us. So once they realize they are in the present with me, they choose Jesus in order to be in the power position. I'm going to highlight that.
And then what you're
Their
reading,
purpose, which
this
is
particular
purpose.
slide, Diana, is the answer to deliverance prayers.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm not trying to
all the
proselytize
crap.
anything, but
You hit right at the crux of it. It's
yeah, and I keep thinking, well, people are going to read this and think I'm trying to turn them into a Christian. No, I'm not. I'm just saying Satanism isn't about fighting Buddha. It's not, it's not anti-Buddhist. It's not anti-Muslim. It's not anti-Jew. It's anti-Christian. So if you're going to fight Satan, it's the only tool, as far as I know.
there you go.
I mean, so people get turned off, then they get turned off. And then that was pretty much it.
You're just providing truth.
And yeah, this is pretty much the same. Oh, and I added here, I have a part with a new purpose that baptizes, them in the lake. And Jesus is there to speak with them if they wish. They always do. And Jesus always forgives them. And then, So then I just put, as of September 6th, and I'm 181 parts. I just changed the date and the number. And then I spend 1 to 2 hours each day working on something. So I was excited now.
That's
Plus
very
I
good.
journal daily, mostly as they talk to me. It was hard and heavy for about 3 months. Now it's lighter.
That's good.
Drop one, if not all, your shows you watch and replace it with this. If you play games, make this your new one. It's not games. I don't want to say that. If you're on social media, make this your new social media. Watch my video called Headspace for details where I go over that. And
Right.
then I said, I've discovered this is, you can do this, and said, God bless you, watch over you with angels of protection. So
Wow. I love it.
that's pretty much what got
I
added.
love the fact that you've laid out kind of not just a timeline, but how much time, right? Nobody's
Mhm.
going to get through this just by
I was thinking if
half-hearted.
they just spend 1 hour every single day or 5 days a week, you'll slowly pick away at it. But I think they'll discover as they sit down for 1 hour, they'll have realization 1 hour will turn into three and it's not going to bother them. I mean, it didn't, that's what happened with me. So
Right.
that was changed. This is what also I added. Gosh darn it. I don't know why this keeps doing this. Oh no, the graph is the same. It was the intensity, that the realization I had, the development. I said this part of the work really perplexed me for a while. It was when I watched Jon Uhler's interview with Emma that he said it is the intensity of the trauma that determines the level or depth of where it lies in the consciousness. And then I got it. I said, please see the chart to the right so they can look at it. I said another note. Jon told me if I could think of any other descriptor for a level to add it and let him
That's
know
good.
these were all he could think of, and that he is only the coach, but that I am on the field and know. So I want them to know that it's not you telling me, I'm just using your stuff and
Right.
adapting it to me.
That's wonderful. Good, good,
So what
good.
I did was take his chart and lay it out on Excel. I took each topic, made a check sheet, this form, then things started to become clear.
That's beautiful.
So what I want everyone to know is that my levels may be different from yours. For example, my parts selected their level based on their behavior qualities. Is that the way the part, am? And so I broke it out. I thought, well, okay, I'm a 1 to 2 here, but you might be a 1 to a 3 or 4. Repressed, I'm a 3 to 6, but you might be a 3 or 4 or 5 to 6, 7 or 8.
There we go.
Your wounded kids, same thing. So I just want them to understand that this is not set in stone.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, okay, it's all based on how the part behaves and feels. So I began with an intuitive guess. Then, as time went on, they revealed their experience. I discovered I had some in the wrong level, which is fine. I just corrected it, removed them from one level, placed on the next. I said, I find that if I don't correct it, the part feels neglected, not listened to, and begins to rebel a bit, does not disclose any more to
Or they
me.
don't let you get any sleep.
If that happens, then the other parts begin to do the same. So fully recognizing and reflecting their beingness is a big deal to them. And these forms are the proof of that for them. I said, at least that's how it works for me. So it occurred to me that because I have 181 parts, and this is what I explained to you about pushing down to the next levels.
Right.
I said, so I looked at how many I had in each level. Guess what? They're about 25% each, give or take about 1 or 2%. And that's what made me think perhaps it's designed to keep a kind of a balance. So this is why I say my -2 may be a -4 if you just look at the descriptors and decide. Feel free to change the labels. And then I put videos to watch for more clarification. I highly recommend watching all of them from the beginning, which is the bottom one. So I put Emma's stuff here. And then all her playlist for you. And if the one in yellow, I need to actually, the highlighted video is the one that pertains to this topic. So all they
Wow.
have to do is click it and it'll go there immediately. So I felt
Great.
really good about that. It's the only one where I thought this really needs a little more explanation because we're not all going to be the same. And then You just go into the instructions. All they have to do is fill this out and it will populate every other page. So I thought I was pretty excited about that.
That's outstanding.
Okay, cool. And that didn't change except I just highlighted things so that they would see them. Okay, there's current, there's suppressed. So it's easy to quickly see rather than go, where am I at? What am I doing? And did that. That was it. Okay, I was just trying to make it user friendly.
Look at all the work you've done, Diana. You
And
really
this all total, I'd say maybe 8 hours. It wasn't a big deal. I spent 6 hours.
think about how diligently, day after day after day. I mean, you've got an intuitive sense now
Well,
about.
because yeah, as each piece came, I'd put it on my checklist, put it on
Right.
my checklist. And as I was doing this, I realized, oh, this is a little more how I do it, not this piecemeal thing. So I even, and right now I'm thinking I need to take my stuff and put it in these new ones
There you go. There you go.
because
Absolutely.
I like them better.
Absolutely.
Mine are kind of redundant. So, and then the whiteboards, that's pretty much the same. Did I change anything? I don't think so. There's the gray stuff so that they can figure that out. And then, oh yeah, this is all the same. Did I put something on the bottom? I think maybe. I changed the word from kids to children because Alan used to point something out about kids. He said, a kid is a baby goat. He said, well, what's a goat? It's a representation of Satan. So when they changed the word from children to kids, it was changing the psychological view of what a child is. He said, so Satan is perceiving this child as his baby, his kid, that
Uh,
he's going to bring up that way.
that's pretty smart. I hadn't thought.
Yeah. So that's all I did was I just changed your word kids to children. He never said kids for that reason.
Huh.
Okay, now this is all the same. I went through each one thinking, oh, maybe I'll have an aha, and it was really just that one. Um, and the health checklist is the same too, except I think I just added close, sure. I think I put sample age so they can see you're just putting X's in the box. If you only get to
Yeah,
here, you know what you need to finish.
that's
So I
good.
thought, well, they're going to look at that and go, what am I supposed to do with this? So that's all I changed there. So do you want me to send these new ones so you can scrutinize it, or do you want to take the time or any of
Um, yes.
Okay. So just delete the other one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
start with this
Yes.
one. So I'll do that later. So
Wow.
that was that. So that was my big thing I wanted to share. I don't have any new, well, I did make a video, but it's just reading my journal. I guess I'll read journals.
Okay. Yeah, the stuff
Oh,
that's just unbelievable.
well, yeah, I read this to you last time, but I thought it's all the same topic, all these 3 pages. So it's like I see a man climbing next to a ladder that's leaning against a pillar, but he's next to it, he's not on it. So I think I was seeing someone do astral projection is what this was about. And then I'm watching him from a distance, but I had to have been watching another spirit, but I don't know how a spirit could physically well, yeah, I guess if they could do spells, they can lift a ladder. Maybe it was instruction for me to let me know that even if you're in an astral body, you can still affect the physical plane. But it wouldn't be me, it would be Satan doing it, right?
Yeah, that would be my first guess.
Yeah, but I think she was trying to teach me that, yeah, you can do things.
Yeah.
I can do things, not a call on this is what I have to show you. When I put these parts in, and then this morning when I opened, I was going to show you, this is Lacey, whose name is Astral, for astral projection.
Yeah.
Right before it, Jade was created. I was given a spirit guide, Joseph, and it hit me that, oh my God, this is who would have been, as you and I are talking right now, this is who the demon would have been doing things for me when I was in my astral body. Right? It just hit me when I pulled it up. I thought, wow, that's just right before the astral projection. She made sure to give me, had me choose a name, Crystalline,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Okay.
then we have a spirit guide given to me, and now I've got astral projection happening.
And they would have cut in on
So
they
I think
really
the spirit
suppressed that
guide
part.
would, yeah, I think the spirit guide would be the part that would do the physical things, making me think it was me and I'm all
There you
powerful.
go. There you go. And so, for instance, Lacey, it's an interesting thought then. I'm just thinking this out loud that here Lacey was there, but then if they had been successful, not only would there be a demonic thing, but she would forever be, not forever, but she talk about suppressed.
I know. I know. I
So
was
they
like,
really wanted her entrapped because then it would be the ultimate masquerade.
yeah, and and I keep wondering, and she's like, no, I'm in my -4, that electric shock wasn't too bad. Oh, and
Gosh.
And the reason I'm thinking this was when I first bought this house, all my trim is white, but the electrical outlets were beige and I didn't like it. And I didn't know, well, I went and got the plates to realize, well, the thing's still beige. So I thought, well, I've got to change all the electrical outlets in the house. And so I think I got through 4 or 5 just fine, but on one, I zapped myself.
Oh.
And it was just a moment, and I thought, oh, okay, well, duh, go turn flip the breaker, right? So I'm getting electrically zapped in my house, and it's no big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, and I told Chris this story once, years and years ago, and he looked at me, he goes, what do you mean it wasn't a big deal? I said, it was just for a moment, and I dropped the thing, and it was done. He goes, no, it's a big deal. And we were in conflict over it.
That's
And I
great.
realized now why, because I had so much electricity for long, long, long periods of time
Yeah.
that now when it happens to me, or like when it happened to Lacey, maybe my hand was on there 5 minutes, but it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't being raped, I wasn't being beaten, or, it's just a shock. And I'm like, are you
Okay.
sure you're only a 4? And she's
So
like, eh.
let me get some clarification.
I
Um,
know.
you said it, but again, every now and then it sinks in even more. So, like in the military, so as you just said, and it's not that you haven't been clear, but it just sunk in a little bit deeper for me. When you said the amount of time and the electricity,
Yeah.
um, okay, like compared to that, so an electrical outlet, what's the power? Because I don't, those of us that haven't
I
been
think it's
shocked.
120 volts.
So was it the same? See, it
I
sounds
think if you go up to 400 or 450 volts, something like that, it will kill you. So maybe, MK Ultra takes you to like 300 or 350 just before the death level.
and they keep it on for how long?
Well, I know I could have been sitting in that chair for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you've got
With with
the audio
constant,
visual and you got the auditory going on and you've got
and
this,
they're
you're
doing
sitting in a
electricity.
chair with this mild electrical, well, I don't even know if it's mild, but maybe a moderate electrical current. It's just,
A whole, you mean it's constant without a break?
yeah. That's what my parts are telling me, yeah. I know what Star did. She had like a little metal plate. It looks like it would be a scale to weigh food on. You know, just a little metal plate, but she had a wire connected. Somebody hooked this shit up for her. And she had me place my hand on it while it was energized. And I put my fingertips on it first and felt it.
And
And
who
she
did
wanted
this?
my whole hand flat on it.
And who did this?
Star was the owner of that crystal shop,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
woman that followed me down to Texas. But yeah, it was in the back room of the shop. And then I remembered another incident where, well, it's in the journal, but yeah, so this is Lacey, and I'll show you Connor real quick. I had to write down their page number so I'm not scrolling. So I could be prepared. But here's Connor, the commander. I think this is a program that MK Ultra, I had to add it into my mind files and put it right next to the Lily and Sarge and the communicator and Ray. He's like a primary part. I think if you know what you're doing, which Star must have, she knew that I had parts, so she went in, used the electricity, found the commander who gave her access to the files, which was Lily. Lily told her who did what. She picked the parts that she liked, the three witches from SRA, because they're witchcraft, tied them together, because remember, those three witches were tied together, created another part from those. It's like she took those three, tied them together, and split them into one. Which is why I thought I kept asking, was it witchy three parts or is it one part?
Was she increasing the electricity at that point?
I don't think so. I don't. Well, my part's saying, yeah, moderately. I think she took it to like from a mild to a moderate level, just enough to make the split and put in there what she wanted.
I'm wondering what she told them because
I don't know how this commander would let anyone through without proper codes
yeah,
or
but a sense
whatever.
of there had to have been a sense of, well, think about trauma, right? Overwhelmed, but it's that helplessness. So I'm wondering what she did. So she's tying up the three of them. So she's
In my mind. Yeah.
right. So right. So talk about
Yeah.
the power of suggestion, but all they know is they're front and center again. And there had to have been, my hunch is there's
That
some
was what
sort,
MK Ultra did. They went in and accessed those, found out that there was three parts,
yeah.
you know, it said, okay, well, we're going to create the same three parts, different ones, but with same purposes. So you've got
There you go.
two.
But at that moment, what I'm thinking is, and this will be interesting, they will know, they'll remember, if anybody's going to remember, they're going to remember. But in order to do that, my guess is somehow they were re-traumatized. There was some sense that they're going to need backup.
Yeah, so it would have to be at an intense
I'm
level.
wondering what she did to increase, because in their mind, understandably, it's going to get worse. So something at that moment was getting worse.
Well, now I'm getting the impression that a part of my body was pinched with like pliers or something. Oh, maybe
Oh,
on a fingernail or something. Oh, yeah. Okay. They're saying she took pliers and pinched the hell out of one of my fingernails.
so that makes sense, right? She's taking the pain threshold to a new level, and at that
I
moment,
have a moderate electrical current, so she doesn't kill me, but
there
let's
you go, right? Because
add
then
the pain.
there you go. The parts don't know if they're going to make it out of that situation, and so they need backup. And so what she was doing is she was taking it to the threshold, creating additional pain. They're in the moment. They don't know if it's ever going to stop.
Yeah, because Lacey said, nah, it's a -4. And I'm like, really? She goes, I wasn't being raped. I wasn't this, wasn't that, wasn't anything. Connor as well. He's like -6. And I'm like, is that all? And he's like, well, yeah. He goes, look at Anne. She's at a -4. We were both being electrocuted and all that. It's
I
just that
wonder
there
if,
wasn't the sexual component and the terrorizing demon component. The girls at the younger age got that.
yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe in time the
probably,
older
yeah,
might have
that'll be interesting to try to find out. What did she add that compared to what you guys have been through, there was enough shock value to where she was able then to really what happened is the three of them
And she
needed,
was trying to turn me into a lesbian too. She was trying to just switch to fuck up my identity about sex.
yeah,
For
yeah,
some reason, it never took. I don't know why. But yeah, I don't know. I guess my part will mull that over and reveal
yeah,
it if there's something there. But yeah, right as we're talking, she's saying I'll record that so I don't forget.
yeah. Because with three of them, I mean, it had to have been,
A big deal.
there we go.
So
She had to have
that
done something that was so, that caught you so off guard that left you feeling like, what the, where's
I
this going?
wonder if it was, oh my gosh, I just realized she astral projected into me.
Okay. Well, what that would have been is, okay, remember when that demon? So
Yeah.
it's very interesting, or gave you the feeling like, so remember when that witch, or okay, remember you're having to do the circle, they're those demonic witches.
Yeah, and
So,
they were just in my face,
okay,
but
so
then
she was
they
demon
also
possessed.
entered me through my mouth.
Yeah. So she was demon
Sarah didn't.
possessed.
She just did what I did to the woman on the
Yeah, but what's interesting is that
school.
there's a difference, right? Just for your own security and comfort level, it's strange to say that, but for your own sense of assurance, right? Exactly like what happened with the those demonic witches. It felt like they were coming inside you. See, that's why,
Yeah,
plus
I didn't think
it's
of
such
that, really.
important work, Diana, right? With all of this. So just so you know that their astral projection is demonic. Yours was trauma based. And so
Yeah.
when it felt like it was coming inside you, it was, a demon was not. But she was demon possessed. And so there was that attempt. So that's very interesting. So there is a spiritual barrier that's protecting that God gives. So it feels like that internal assault, it's dramatic, it's traumatizing, but it still preserves the soul. God protects the soul.
Yeah.
Someone wants to be demon possessed, well, like she did. So when you had that, I'm sorry, what was her name? The one that
That
Crystal?
Krista. Yeah.
Oh, Krista, right? When she was doing that, so she was demon possessed, and she liked it. So there's that difference, just like you'd
Well, it
referenced.
was Astral, the one who actually did the astral projection.
But in her. So the woman that you worked with, what was her name? Sorry,
Star.
Star. Okay,
Star.
so that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So Star was demon possessed, and she wanted to
She
be,
had to have been.
and
Yeah.
she liked it, right?
And
So
she
there.
had the technology.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, you had a full
She was
on.
trained on the technology. She knew exactly who to go to access the parts she needed to access.
Under the cover of a new age thing. She was another handler.
Yeah, but I think I went to her. I was just interested in the new age and I happened to
But
move to
somehow I bet
Milwaukee
there's something just
and
like
looked up the
astro
nearest crystal store.
project.
Unless she astral projected into me and said, find a crystal store. But I had read Shirley MacLaine's book down in El Paso. By the
Yeah.
time I moved to Milwaukee, I was interested in crystals and read Shirley MacLaine's second book, which was more about crystals. And I thought, well, let me find a crystal store.
Did
And
she ask when you first met her? Did she ask your last name or something?
oh, probably. I mean, when I worked for her, I filled out, W-2 and all that. So she knew my last name. So yeah, maybe she found out that way.
Huh.
Yeah. I just want to record this real quick. Smashed a fingernail.
See that?
And
Okay.
astral projected into me. Okay. That was the trauma. Because I was that part of the anxiety I realized. Let me feed Dixie and let her out.
Yeah, yeah. You can continue to, I can probably hear you if you want to keep.
Was that as I slammed my body into and pushed the spirit out of that body, I felt the energetic physical impact.
Yeah.
I mean, it was tolerable, but it was shocking because I had never done that before. And this woman, the Balistreri woman, was the mobster's wife. So, she's probably demon possessed.
Of
So
course.
whatever I did had to have been powerful enough to overpower that.
There you go. There you go.
And so part of my fear was that, oh my God, somebody could do that to me. And that's what I thought. Well, not thought. I think that's what a part of the anxiety was until I filled everything out in the charts and graphs and all that, and then the
That would
anxiety
make sense,
passed.
right?
But
Because she did
but
something.
realizing because I did it to someone else,
Yeah. Yeah.
started it to me, I did it to someone else. Now I'm freaked out. Oh my
Yeah.
God, this can happen anytime, anywhere.
Okay. So that makes sense then, right? So it had to hit a threshold.
And it's not like somebody walking up to you in a parking lot. It just comes from out of nowhere or from the ethers or whatever. But I think now that I'm consciously saved and ask Jesus, well, and I think this is also why these parts are coming up. The prayer that I've been saying, the part of the evening prayer asks for forgiveness for anything to do with astral travel, astral projection, and asks God to protect me from it.
You may want to add that in there somewhere in your overall.
Yeah, that prayer that I mailed to you, if you read the evening prayer part, you'll see, it's, ask for forgiveness and then ask for protection. And, I claim Jesus as my savior and blah, blah, blah. And I've been saying it every morning and night for probably a week and a half now. I read it in front of Chris a couple of evenings ago, the evening before the anxiety blow up.
Yeah.
And that night that he got his Bible, and he says, well, you probably only need to ever say that just once. And I said, yeah, I guess. And I sat down in my room doing it, and God said, you're going to do it for 40 days and 40 nights. And I went, okay. I was like, okay.
That's funny.
I
Okay.
was like, I don't know why that amount of time. I don't know, but it seems important in the Bible. And I thought, okay, that's fine with me. And then maybe I'll do it once a week after that or something.
So what's interesting, Diana, again, to create for her to create enough trauma to where we have, an additional spirit, which is one. So the three were tied up with a cord, as it were. Am I tracking with all this? So
Yeah,
who?
when I first discovered them in my parts puddle and they appeared, they were tied together with a rope around their waist in about 3 feet of space. But I believe when they were created, when I was like 3 or 5, I forget. I'd have to look at the thing here.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so who are the three? And my apologies for
No,
forgetting.
no, it's pole dancer, cutesy. No, that's not it. Here they are. Okay.
Okay,
Remember,
there we
they
are. There we
first
are.
appeared as three together.
Yeah.
And then they switched to the young girls. Okay, they're starting to soften up. This was a similar memory, me and my two
Yeah.
sisters having to do that. But then they each took individual, I cut the ropes off and they took individual names. What I
Okay,
didn't
so
realize was the three tied together.
yeah,
Star took those traumas,
yeah,
somehow merged them and split it to apart because this part was first confronting a demon.
yeah.
you know, the
So,
disorientation
so
or
the new name
whatever.
is Wanda, or is it Corey now?
This is the new names, Corey. The old
Oh,
names.
so it was Wanda.
Yeah, it was Wanda. And
Oh,
then this one was Wind, where it entered me. And, you know, and so the body is experiencing it, not just the terror and the confrontation, but
right.
now the body's experiencing it. And then it was they're using my body, overwhelming my mind, and so they're taking over the body.
Okay,
So
so
she took the confronting it, taking it in, and using it in your body, merged them together to create an astral projection part.
now, first of all, again, you're doing such important work because how many people are subject to this kind of crap? So what you helped them with, meaning you and the parts, so Corey, Tula, and Valley, um, now are able to realize they were separate because of the confusion, right? They
Yeah,
don't know if they're separate or one or what.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And Star tied them together. And so they
so
spent all these years since I was three. I was three until what is 22. So 18 years of being tied together and then being made to merge and split. And Star used the technique that happened to them. Here's a demon. We're going to enter you and we're going to use you.
you know what? I think I've shown, oh, okay. Is it possible to share the screen?
Oh, sure. I'll stop share.
Okay, because here, and let me run this by you. Um, I may have shown you this picture before. Did I ever show you this picture?
No.
Okay, I think we've got something right here.
Okay.
Okay, what a great picture, number one, right? Everybody can add their, but
Right? Because they could go around.
right? Okay, so I really think what what was done to you originally with your grandmother, and then what Star did is is pull a fast one. Talk about a mind game.
Yeah.
So they took three separate parts, made them feel like they were together.
Yeah. It
It's not until
made
you
them
think,
believe they were tied together for
and there
eternity.
we go. So now they're separate, but Star, the
The
mind game,
perp. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
did the same thing again. And so what a very powerful picture to think in a way, whether for you or any other survivor, but you went through so much, is that these are where the part, isn't this a great picture? It's like to help the parts realize, wait a second, look at
I
that
think
one right
I,
there peeking around.
I know, but he still stays there, is what I was
Isn't that
thinking.
great?
His buddies
So
are there.
I don't know if you want to take I can send this one too, because this is such a
I'll
powerful,
just do a snip.
okay, you do a snap, because maybe this will help the different parts. You know, this really is a very powerful picture. Now that I'm staring at it again, that it's really, is it the war over? Isn't that great? But talk about the mind files. This is the mind gate.
Yeah.
And so the perps want everybody to believe there's a fortress. You can't get out. There's an invisible, and then all of a sudden, once a part starts to say, hey,
Well, I'm looking at this thinking that the little one looking around the side was astral.
okay,
The
okay,
three,
right?
the three girls are stuck there at the gate, but not anymore because I
There you
opened
go.
the gate and let them out and they took off and then astral kind of hung out behind for a little while.
There you go.
And I think it was that prayer and asking forgiveness and protection and no and all the other parts saying, yeah, you're protected, that Astral finally felt safe to show herself. And then Commander said, well, I opened the gate to the MK Ultra programming.
Yeah, yeah. By
So
the way, a little picture of
it's
an
a
imprecatory.
fascinating picture.
Isn't that great? Here's an imprecatory prayer, by the way, right there. So
Yeah, yeah. Let's
there
bomb
you
the
go.
shit out of her.
There you go. So, okay. I just wanted to, right? It's just
Yeah. So
a
I was
very
like,
word picture.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta tell John about that zap in the house. And that led to all this.
But it's beautiful that you had somebody on the outside happen, somebody you know, you trust, Chris, who's former military, to
Well,
give you that
yeah, and he's
context.
like,
Like
no, Diana, that's not a little thing.
that's, I
Like,
guess,
oh, I gotta share again. Let me do that.
okay. And which shows you then, right? If they can keep a survivor isolated, a survivor has no ability to discern and really context, like how bad was it really, and what you're putting together now for the survivors, as you say, listen, mine was this number, yours might be this, yours might be, right? It's just so powerful
Yeah,
because
because
it's,
you might only have 50 parts. And so you can have 10 or 12 on each level.
there you go,
But
there you
I
go.
got 181 and anyway, but yeah. Um,
Okay, so Star, then my hunch is that demon that was inside of her. I'm just thinking of the situation when you were meditating, you had the demon come up
come right to, I mean, like right there, nose
in
to
front of
nose,
you.
except we weren't touching.
So two things come to mind. One, Satan knows that God has been after you in a good way to protect you. Talk about MK Ultra. They've kept their eye on you. Well, Satan's kept his eye on you. But greater is he who's in it. So that's a nice thing in the sense, like when those four cops pulled up to Chris,
Well,
right?
and
They're
I'm going outside in my underwear, daring, a
there.
week
Okay,
ago,
there you
daring
go.
him to mess with me, and
There you go.
nothing's happened.
So that intensity to really freak those parts out enough to overwhelm them, my guess is there was another entity that you felt that dark energy that it so freaked you out that all of a sudden there was another split at that moment.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the case. Yes. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that makes sense then. So she worked it
Yeah,
again.
Lacey is saying, that's it. That's it. With the electrical current, she's pinching my nail.
Oh
And
gosh.
now we've got this demon. And it's funny because I had no pains in my fingers or anything. So I don't know about that piece. But yeah, I think,
That's really to normalize those parts then. It's like something, it wasn't just an average day at the office when you went to the crystal shop that day. You were confronted with almost that same type of demonic threat. And so no wonder they needed backup. So now there's an additional split because it's like, what is this?
yeah. And see, I'd been working there for a little while before all
Yeah.
this happened.
Yeah.
She took a few weeks to suss me out and do signals and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. I said I've been feeling very tired all day, although I got quite a bit done. By the time six rolled around, I could barely wash a few dishes and I did not cook. I'm sure that means there's more memories on the way. So I laid down to go to sleep, and I kept thinking about me forcing someone out of their body, and just felt so embarrassed and bad, and I knew it wasn't me, but the part was crying. It says, now I remember what happened on that ship. I was in the physical body that was on that ship. That's why I thought it was me. But as I lifted up and away, I realized, oh, it's not my body. Once that person was on the ship, then I left, which is why I was leaving and moving away from it. But once I got up and away, up in the sky, that's when her spirit came back into her and then came after me. That demon spirit I had overpowered in that body was pissed off because I overpowered it. It was coming up after me. That's why it was black. We just had a confrontation in the ether. I used the name Jesus to make it go away. And this is where the shameful part comes from, because I'm doing evil work, but I'm using God to protect me while I do evil work, which is
But
what,
at the same time, that's where Paul's words would come to play, where he said, the reason why he's eligible for forgiveness is because what he did out of ignorance. It's a big difference right there.
yeah. And I think Star tapped into the memory of Jesus accessing my body. So she knew I had protection,
Yeah. Yeah.
just not within the MK Ultra program.
Yeah.
So, but I did have it and didn't have. I had it as a being, just my part didn't know.
Diana, it's very interesting. Think about how many people, not very many people. Now, when you're reading the scripture, there's a couple of different people, John being one. So he was in the spirit on the Lord's day, and all of a sudden, he's now in the spirit realm. Ezekiel, even Jeremiah, he's given this vision. Also, he's now, I mean, it starts out in Babylon, right? And then before he knows it, he's in the temple. Now he's able to see on the other side of the wall. So you have a very unique perspective to be able to relate to.
Well, I didn't know it until 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It's like
And
so
and that's
what
why it's
God's got
such,
in store for me.
right? Yeah, because so for those of us that haven't experienced this, we have just a little additional hurdle to try to figure out or to appreciate the words. We don't wrestle with flesh and blood.
but yeah, the
You
spirit.
have that intuitive sense of what that really means.
Oh, now I do. Yeah. It's not even intuitive anymore. It's conscious
Yeah, yeah.
because my part knew. Yeah. So, oh, geez, I keep thinking of
Wow.
something and I
Sorry about that. It's
keep
just
forgetting
really,
to tell you. Oh, I'll write it down. We can talk about it later. Chris Bible. Okay. Um, so I think it was that woman that I saw from above that I went down and took over her body. The two women, they were sitting in a pool. You know, it was like an expensive house. All I saw was the pool area. And there's two women sitting there with a table between them. And they have drinks and they're just sunbathing. But I went down and took over the lady on the right. And when I went in there, I turned to this really nasty, nasty person to attack the friend. I attacked the other woman verbally, accused her of sleeping with my husband, who's not. And now I'm in the body of a mob boss's wife. So this mob boss's wife is
you should have written
attacking,
yourself a check.
right? And so you know, it's the mob boss's wife, and I was attacking her friend, getting her to alienate her friend and get her out of her life. You know, and I say, well, you're sleeping with my husband, who's not my husband, but the husband of the body. Anyway, I knew that I was wrongly accusing her. I just wanted to hurt and attack her. And as I'm thinking about this now, it was to get this friend out of her life for a temporary time period so that I could manipulate this woman into thinking she needed to leave the country. And that's why she was on the bow of a ship. Once she was on that ship, I left her. Now, I don't know if I was in her continuously, but I know that I remember telling her husband that, oh, I've just got to get away. I need to get away. I'm going to go to so-and-so and I'm going to take a ship. I don't want to fly. And I think Star needed that to happen because this woman was getting wise to her and was maybe going to put some heat on Star. So, and remember I told you when I was down in Dallas, I asked her, well, what happened to your shop? What happened? She never told me. I think that she screwed with this mobster wife so much that they were coming after her. And I think Star's way of interrupting it was getting her on a ship for 3 weeks or however long it takes to get to Europe so that Star could have a little breathing space, is what I think what happened. And because prior to that, Star was having me use astral projection to watch what was going on so that Star could blackmail her. I kept thinking it was many people, but I think it maybe was just her or maybe her and her friends, because she would get the dirt on them and I don't know, maybe I would go in there and astral project and they would freak out because their demon wasn't working anymore. And so they'd come to the store and say, help me, help me. My demon's not working anymore. You're the resident guru. Tell me what to do. And Star could charge them $5,000 and then have me pull out of their body for a little while. And then I go back in their body and the demon would stop. They'd come back and pay her $5,000 again, kind of thing, blackmailing them. And I think maybe this mobster wife figured it out and confronted her. And this was Star's way of getting her gone for a few weeks. But I don't remember the timing between that happening and me moving to Texas, because I was in Texas probably a year or two before she came back down there. So maybe she was astral projecting herself or something, I don't know, but there was a buffer of time there. And maybe this mobster wife realized, well, if your little minion can astral project and take over my demon, then I can't mess with you anymore, kind of thing. So just as we're talking, all this is kind of, I've had little snippets here and there for a day or so, but it's just now kind of coalescing. So I think that's what was happening. She was I guess blackmail is not the right word, but manipulating the situation so they'd come to her for help. Just like you'd go to a witch doctor down in New Orleans to get juju to make
Yeah, I
more
was going to say, so
money,
she's messing around with their ability to
to
do
use
whatever
their
they were doing.
demon. Yeah,
Yeah,
to use the demon they already have.
yeah.
Because they have to be aware of it. Right? Or if they're not aware of it, they
Or
think
they,
their life just aren't working like they used to. And oh
okay,
my
it's
God.
something as simple as that, or maybe they've heard from a quote unquote, well, a familiar spirit, a spirit guide, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, and I know that when I was in those clubs that the mobster ran, that she was in there once, and
oh,
she was making sure that the madams that ran the places were doing their shit. So she's part of this child trafficking and sex abuse and all that. She had to have been conscious of her demon. I don't know how you could get to that level without.
yeah, no, that's right, that's right.
So
Well, I just saw
I'm
some,
just a little blown away that I could do that. Not me. Well, my astral body or whatever, that part taught her how to do it.
yeah, there you go.
That Star could do her own manipulations or whatever.
Even last night, I was looking at, are you familiar with Liz Cronklin?
No.
She's a very good investigative reporter on child trafficking. And
Crocklin, Cronklin.
yeah, as a matter of fact, do you ever go on to Twitter
You mean X?
or X? I'm sorry. Yeah,
I have an account, but I open it up and I get lost.
yeah.
And I don't even want to put
You want to share the
the
screen again because I'll show you what her account looks like, and because I'll tell you what, she just posted a thing about De Blasio and his wife. His wife's heinous.
Is
Uh,
that a mobster?
the former
The black? Oh no, that's New York. The
New
former
York.
mayor,
Okay,
right?
so let me hold on. Let me bring this up because I'm adding it to once I finally, finish this stupid video defense that I'm putting together. It's taking forever still, but little by little, I'm then going to finish the stages of therapy, and then I'm going to go into um, how therapists have had the wool pull over their eyes, right? So that'll be a whole series that Em and I will do. Okay, so I want to show you. Let me back away.
Yeah, Mayor, was it Bill de Blasio? Is it
Yes,
Bill? Yeah.
I'll show you how this whole thing's been expanding.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
goodness.
I'm up to
Yeah.
that. So as we go in, and there's a logic, there's a flow to this. Okay, so one more. A couple more. Look at that. There's Obama with a kid. There's de Blasio.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even see the kid till you pointed it out. Yeah.
Right? Now this woman,
What are they doing on a boat with a kid?
yeah, trafficking a kid. Okay, now this woman, um, Madison Claire is talking about her father created the first online pizza delivery, and she's talking about her dad was a perp. So very interesting. But then, so here is Liz Cronklin that she's talking about Christine Teigen. Okay, they're joking about. I'm going to scroll to the left here. Okay, so there's De Blasio.
Is
I'm
that
gonna
Chrissy
okay,
Teigen, the model?
I think so. Okay, so
Oh,
she's into all sorts
yeah.
of crap. Okay,
Yeah.
so this woman, what's her name? I forget her name. Oh, it's all right over here. So Madison Claire's. So at some point in time, I'll reach out. So her dad, Brian Cupps, designed Cyber Slice. Okay. The connection with who's the Amber Alert guy?
Um, Walsh, John
There.
Walsh, because I
So
just
there's
saw
some
his daughter's name down there,
okay,
Megan.
so there's some connection between this woman's dad and Adam Walsh. Okay, I'm going to scroll down because there's De Blasio. Okay. Oh, there was a video of him eating a slice of pizza. He's just silent.
And that symbol, look at the
Okay,
mask
there,
on
there
the
you go.
girl.
Right.
Yeah.
This is his wife.
His wife.
This is his wife.
She's
Okay, now
small.
we've got the administration. Okay, so this guy that works for De Blasio was found to have 3,000 photos and 89 videos. And this woman who's now connected, and not his wife, but some other, it's hard for me to, I forget what, but she had all these photos on her Twitter account.
The wife.
Now, Gina, what is this woman's name? Look at all these.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
And that's probably real.
I think so, right? How
Oh,
are you going to fake this? Now, I
sorry,
think,
that's
okay,
disturbing.
there. Look at what De Blasio says.
I eat pizza. I'm hungry and I eat pizza.
Oh, and there he is. There's the little video that he's just there. Now, um, so I don't know what her name is. There's some connection, either her, no, there's a model or somebody who's connected to De Blasio, and those photographs were from that. Sorry, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit more.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I
Gina
can handle
woman.
it. It's just it would shock me at first.
So this Gina woman is connected to De Blasio. Gina, so somewhere in
That
here.
baby in that cage. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So, anyways, this Gina, so my apologies. And here's Podesta. Oh, Gina, there it is. Gina Gerson. That's this person. Oh, over here.
The reporter?
There we are. So, another pedoid creep who has endorsed Kamala Harris is Gina Gershon.
Gershon.
This is the very same Gina Gershon who was being investigated by Vanity Fair for having an affair with Bill Clinton.
Yeah, they all run in these circles.
Okay,
I'm
so
I've
anyways,
learned
I'll get on
recently
that.
that the modeling industry is nothing but
So,
sex and
there was
debauchery.
some reason why whatever you were saying, oh, the mob, and therefore there is the deposit. Was he was mayor of New York, isn't that correct? Was he
Y-
mayor? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mayor
And
Bill
so,
de Blasio. Yeah.
because of the wife you were just talking about. Sorry. So I'll scroll back over. So there's the wife of de Blasio. Oh, and they had a picture of their kids, and they seemed a little whacked out. So look how blatant. So that's it. When you mentioned, I'll get out of this now.
A
So when you
mess.
mentioned about
Yeah.
the mob boss or the
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 wife of the
mob
mob
boss,
boss
there,
being possessed by a
there
demon.
you go, there you go.
They
So
they want, and I'm sure these people don't choose women who are not going to be a mistress,
there you go.
satanic mistress. They're not going to marry them unless they can have power. The man won't choose a woman that's not going to play along, and the
Because
woman wants more power, so choose the guy.
there you go. So meaning de Blasio, why would he marry? One look at it, it's like, anybody can fall in love with anybody, but it's like, okay, what's with them, and why so blatant to have that mask with all the pedo symbols?
I
So
know. I know.
there you go. So, anyways, once you start talking about the mob boss's wife, that's what brought to mind de Blasio's wife out there in front of everybody
Yeah,
with the
I mean,
pedo
because
symbols.
I got the vibe that this mob boss is, well, I should say Mrs. Balistreri she was running those clubs. I didn't see the husband go check on things. I saw the wife do it. So, but yeah, I think maybe she ran those clubs and he ran all the other illegal stuff. Who knows? Who knows? So share. And what's funny too is I've been trying to find the names because I don't think it was John Balistreri was too old and his son was too old to be the boy that raped me, the son and the daughter. So I think it was grandchildren of John Balistreri. And so I was trying to pinpoint which son it would have been. And I'm looking at pictures, and one made me nervous. So I'm like, okay, it's you. But when you go in to try to find the names of his children, I can't find them. They're like wiped.
Diane, I think you're on right there. Um, okay, so there's the multi-generational in
Yeah,
other words,
it's always runs in the family, always.
but the my contention is, and so let's say with the Bill Clintons and others, that's how you create an MK Ultra kid that's willing to eagerly perp. So they haven't been perped on, they've been raised to perp on. But there's probably some trauma in there, like they never know if dad's going to slap them upside the head or something. So,
Or smash their fingernail or
okay, there. So
whatever.
I'm willing to acknowledge that these, like Clinton probably had something, but at the same time, when they abuse, they do it with vim and vigor and zest.
Yeah,
So there
they
has to
enjoy
be,
it. Yeah. Yeah.
although you wonder, like with Obama, I don't know if anybody ever abused that guy. It was just somehow you feed their ego enough and you
Hmm.
create a little, so, it's the far end
Make
of.
them climb the ranks. And what are you willing to do to get to the next rank? Great. What are you willing to do to get to the next rank?
There you go. And the perk is they're introduced to a demonic entity early on. There's your spirit guide.
They're shown, here, I was listening to something they said, well, there's this one Masonic ceremony where there's only 33rd-degree Masons there, and they invite a 32-degree. And so you're surrounded by all these upper level people, and they're looking at you like, are you going to play? Do
See, I
you
really think
really want
that's
this? This is
I
what you got to do to get there. Rape that little boy, and we're going to watch you do it.
okay, so I think that's the answer to the conundrum. How do you create a Walt Disney? How do you create a Bill Clinton, an Obama? They haven't been raped.
Well, I
They
think
were
they're
incentivized.
trained from childhood.
There you go. They're fed, their little ego is fed to where, when the Podestas, the Hillary Clintons, the ones that joke about pizza, okay, that's right. They have not been traumatized. Their egos were fed and they got further and further, and then they were taken over, but they're still responsible. So, sorry, I digress with that, but that's super important because um, what's the gal's name? Svali. Okay, at the end
Yeah.
of the very first talk, right? First of all, she nailed it so well when she said, and she boils it down to it's both attachment, so the fear of not having a family, and then the fear. So it's
Mhm.
attachment and fear. But when she finished that talk with Emma, that's where, unfortunately, and think about how many survivors now have listened to that. And when Emma said, yeah, I mean, to think that if someone were to do that willingly, it would be unconscionable. So, and so Svali herself right, concluded that, well, it's just, basically hurt people. They both,
Yeah, and
right.
I disagree with that
Okay,
now,
there we go. There we
totally.
go.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's this is phenomenal stuff. Oh, not in a good way, but it's right.
I'm
Okay.
gonna I got some pictures on my phone. I completely forgot to mail them to myself. I'm gonna do it right now. But these are the Balistraries.
Yeah, so I guess Christine Teigen.
Chrissy Teigen is her
Christy
copy.
Teigen, she's in there.
Well, I don't doubt it because she's married to the is it Usher? No, John Legend, who is a singer and actor, but he's won all four awards for music, a Grammy, a Tony, an Emmy, and an Oscar. And that doesn't happen unless you're in the club. He won because not a whole lot of people get all four awards. And I remember thinking, okay, well, he's in the club when I heard that. And she's married to him. So they're
Yeah,
both probably whack jobs. Yeah. So anyway, I just have a recollection of Star taking a crystal or jewel of some kind on a necklace, a pendant of a necklace, or a pendulum, I added just this morning. Let me send this real quick. She would hold it in front of me and spin it. The light would reflect and bounce off it, and I would be mesmerized. With that action, she switched me into someone who could do astral projection. She
yeah.
had me going around stirring people up. She did that so those people would go to her for advice and she could sell them things to make money off them, which I already went through in more depth. So I just remember that Star hypnotized me. She was asking me questions about what my capabilities were. During that, I believe she taught me how to astral project, but she also understood that I had access to belief in Jesus as well, and taught me how to protect myself and also to use that to be able to overpower other spirits. And I put, okay, that was in Milwaukee because I'm like, she was in Texas too, but my part isn't revealing anything about Texas. So maybe by the time she got to Texas, she kind of calmed down a little bit or needed to build up her power or something. I don't know. And this is just saying, I believe it was a Balistrary woman, the same woman who came in there and so it wouldn't have been her son and daughter, it would have been her grandson and granddaughter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I kept thinking, well, these timelines don't match up. So, but if you look at their names, these mobsters pick, and they all have nicknames.
Yeah.
Like the son, John Balistrary is the head guy. He has two sons, Joseph and I forget the other one, but they called him, I think, Joey Ball, right?
Oh.
Balistrary, Ball, Joey Ball. And I was like, well, that's fascinating. But here was some pictures that I ran into. Now, here is the father with his two sons. And I believe this is the father of the boy because it's not the picture doesn't line up. And then I found this photo of, will it get bigger? No, not really. And I thought, oh, isn't that lovely? But I'm thinking it was these two because they look like they could be grandchildren of him.
Wow.
And I was trying to find a picture of the wife. I don't think that's her. It might be now that I'm looking at it with you. It didn't dawn on me to look for her. I kept looking for, I think these are the two.
Wonder what's in that picture
I
behind
got this picture, huh?
you. Go back to that
And it
rocking.
doesn't say who it is.
No, but on the wall, I wonder what that picture is by the
Oh,
grandfather clock.
oh
Interest,
yeah, it does look like a naked person
interesting because
on a subway.
I had, oh, I
Like it's not a bus. It's like, or maybe it's an electric rail. But yeah, that's a naked person. You'd think they have underwear on, but that's on the thigh. It's not on the. I need to just
interesting. Go
save
back
this
and
and
try to
blow
find
it
that
up.
picture. But I had one survivor that gets triggered by grandfather clocks.
Oh, awesome.
He's got a grandfather clock in that picture right there.
Oops, I'll just put it there. Put the fan. And then this picture, I think this might be the guy, except he's maybe 10 years older than when I saw him. So, because it makes me kind of be disturbed. So I'll save these real quick and then dad and boys. And then this one, I'm not sure who these are, but they're all they were just showing random pictures and there were no labels. So you have no idea who's who. We'll just put 3 family members. So, okay. Let's see, I can, oh, wait, I need to, yeah, this, yeah, I think this is him. But I can't find his name. And then here, oops. Well, I guess I'll just blow that up a little. And I'm pretty sure that's her. I can't tell if this is the same guy as that previous picture.
It's just psychopathic.
Yeah, the family. Now let's look at that picture. Oh no, it's a woman in a bathing suit. But it's pink, so it looks like skin. Oh no, and that's a truck. It's like a box truck, but maybe it's a food truck of some sort.
Oh.
Huh. Yeah. Ew, maybe that's her. I didn't look at these pictures because it was on my phone. It was late at night. I forgot I even had them. But for a few
Have we got
weeks now,
picture
I've
two?
been
Is that
trying
the
to
same,
find names.
Diana, is that the same picture? Because it almost looked like the picture changed. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
It
this.
does look funny
Oh,
further.
and there's the grandfather clock. I was wondering why you brought that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, but here's the original mobster guy. He died in 77, and then these are his boys. And I think the boy that I'm looking at is the son of him because they have the same face. Let me see if I can put them back up there together. They could be father and son, couldn't they?
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got like the same mouth and nose and kind of hair, both kind of receding in the same color. But yeah, I believe now I'm understanding it's the grandson of the mobster. But at the time, I believe, because the mobster's 2 sons, after the dad got in trouble and caught to tax evasion or something, they renounced their dad publicly. Oh, we're not involved in that, blah, blah, blah. But
That's right.
anyway, so that's just always fascinating.
Yeah, they were some. That's right.
But yeah, so and see that's why I want to air our sessions because as I'm reading my journal and you're asking my parts me, which really you're asking my parts questions, there the few little bits and pieces I've had kind of thrown at me, but I didn't record. As you and I are talking, they came together and I was able to fill out that story about astral projection. But I think that's what Star was doing, is she made that part so that I would be doing it instead of herself doing it. And maybe she made my part was stronger than what she could do.
There you go.
I don't know, because why not do it yourself? You have complete control. And it's not like you have to worry about being arrested because astral projection's not not against the law,
you know.
if anybody even recognizes it exists. Oh, but the last part of that journal, I just popped it, oh shoot, and I closed it, was said to tell Jon about the dreams about levitation. Now, years ago, and I believe it was the same time period, and as I'm telling you now, I'm thinking maybe they were not dreams. But I used to have dreams about levitating, and in the maybe 3 or 4 times in the dreams, it would just be in some mundane place, and I'm moving from one place to another, but I'm like 6 feet up in the air, just sitting like in a lotus position, moving around like you'd see on a cartoon or something. And I always remember waking up feeling like I actually was levitating. So I'm wondering if it's not something, if it was the astral projection
That's the
I
first
was
thing that comes to my mind.
experiencing,
Yeah.
so, and I'm hovering around people's businesses or homes, watching to get information to give to Star so she can blackmail people. But I think with the mobster's wife thing, it was about taking over her body and getting her out of the country for a little while. And maybe this mobster woman didn't figure it out until after she came back or something. I don't know. But I was gone shortly after that. I left for Texas. I chose that. Remember, I said I glommed on to the next guy I've seen, followed him to Texas for vacation, never came back. And I would have come back if I had the money, but I didn't. So it's like God kind of preordained it. And I drove down there and my car broke down. That's why I couldn't get back. So I think maybe God said, let's get you the F out of there.
Yeah. No, seriously.
And I wound up being down there for 10, 15 years. So, and then she comes down there and screws around with me again, but I don't think she had the same powers that she did when she was in Milwaukee. I think she lost something spiritual, well, demonically.
Yeah. Do you know how she stayed in touch with you in order to find you?
No, maybe I called her to check in or something. That's what my part's telling me is that I'm in the new age and I'm doing this and I just want to call and see how you're at and here's where I'm at and blah, blah, blah. And then like a year later, she moves down there. So I think she got ran out of town. And plus, I don't think the store was making as much money as, well, she probably got herself into debt, which is what most of them do. And then they skip town and don't pay anything, don't pay their debts. You know what I mean? But yeah, that woman, she came in the store and bought like 2 massive crystals. It's probably like a $5,000 sale. And Star was just in heaven. So I think she manipulated people into thinking they needed her counsel
Mhm.
because something's going bad in their life or something. They're bad. Their juju's not working anymore. Fix me.
Yeah.
And she made money off of them. And maybe at some point the mobster lady figured it out and was putting pressure and heat on her. And that's why she skipped town.
There's no honor among thieves.
No, no, nope, nope, nope. Oh, this is what I need to tell you. Chris got his new Bible. And I was watching one of Emma's shows about, oh, I can't remember the guy's name now. It's the same guy Nathan Reynolds talks about his book called The Genesis 6 Conspiracy. Anyway, Chris happened to actually, I had just started it. It was only on for 5 or 10 minutes, a 2-hour interview. Well, Chris came in from the garage and he sat in the living room with his TV off, sipping on his beers and listened to the whole interview with me quietly. And it wasn't until near the end where he came in with his Bible and said, well, Psalm 23 and 91, that's all you need to know. It's like, okay. And by then he was buzzed and whatever, but he like took it in. It was the first time ever.
And I'm sorry, it was Nathan Reynolds or somebody that Nathan Reynolds recommended?
Someone that Nathan Reynolds recommended. I will let me go to my YouTube and see the guy's name. Gary something or other. Because she has three. Oh, come on. Oh, that's because I went through your stuff. Um, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? You can see my research during my video. Gary Wayne, here it is.
Oh.
She has three interviews with him, and he ties in the Bible with various different secret societies and different world plans. And he's written a book
So he's been on Emma's show, is that?
three times. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know that. Nathan never really mentioned. Nathan just mentioned his books. But I happen to, when I go onto Emma's site, what I'll do is scroll. I'll just scroll, and at some point I'll just stop. And it's like God's guiding me to something he
Oh,
wants me to
okay.
watch. And I happened to found his, and I popped on the first 5 minutes to find out, oh, there's two before this. So I started with number one. The next night I watched two, which is the one Chris listened to. And then the next night I watched the third one, which was the anxiety insanity night. And so Chris lost his mind and was, well, I don't know why you watch this evil shit and it's all satanic and it's all in it. And I'm trying to say, I said, doesn't the Bible say my people perish because they lack for knowledge or something along those lines? I said, it's knowledge, it's information. It's not I'm not watching a satanic ritual.
Which is very interesting. For somebody that gets up in the middle of the night and is trying to sword fight with a demon, so he's not phased whatsoever. It's funny that I'm trying to wrap my mind around. Most people
I
don't
know.
worry about Satanism, but they would be freaked out if there's a demon in the house. His
I
is the
know.
reverse. He's trying to bring him on, but he doesn't like Satanism. That's
I know. I don't even know if he'd know how to handle it if it actually happened. But so on this third night, so he's watching this guy the second night, perfectly fine and full agreement and learning. The third night, we have the anxiety. So he, goes to level 8, calms down, and I'm watching this guy again. And I said, Chris, it's the same guy we just watched last night. No, it's not. So I'm like, okay. So he doesn't even recognize the guy. And then the next night, last night, I go in there and he's got the Bible you recommend open with his other one, and he's comparing stuff back and forth. And he's like, no, this is good. This is easy to read. And he's just digging and digging and digging now. And I thought, well, that's exciting.
yes.
Like, so yeah, and he's like really happy about having this Bible. And I'm like, I know, me too, because you can just read it.
Yeah.
There's no, and he said something to me. Uh, oh, what is that prayer? The Lord's Prayer. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I suddenly twigged on it because he read it from the old one and then read it from this new one. And it says, the Lord is my shepherd and I'll provide for you, or whatever it says. And I realized that I don't know if my dad programmed it into me or if I just
There you go.
misunderstood, but the Lord is my shepherd, but I don't want you.
Correct. There you go. That's what they do.
I shall not want.
Mhm.
The Lord is my shepherd that I shall not want. I always thought that meant, well, I'm going to be good enough to not need you.
There you go.
When Chris read that, I twigged on it going, oh my God, I've had the misconception and I didn't even know it. I mean, I knew that I had an intuitive feel for what it was supposed to mean,
Okay.
but it wasn't until Chris read that and I will provide for you that none of it made sense until Chris did that. And I was like, thank you, God. And
Diane, that
thank
would
you,
be
John, for that particular Bible, because it's a massive difference.
there you go. what a powerful thing, maybe even for you to reference on one of your blogs or one of your recordings. Yeah, since it's a reliable translation, to have people get that one. We don't have any financial interest in it, but to realize, okay, the perps purposely, everything they did, there's a reason why, and they know that most people, or at least a while ago, they used the King James. These perps are going to use the King James, and so they know the language has changed, but because it sounds spiritual,
Well, and it sounds something to their advantage, so let's use
there,
it.
there, there you go.
And when I went to bed last night, I went to give him a kiss goodnight, and he had both open again. He's, on his elbow on his bed. The TV's going, he's not watching it. He's just engrossed. He's back and forth like this. I said, "Are you finding any conflicts?" He's like, "No, it just makes more sense now." Went great. So I thought, well, if anybody's going to scrutinize something, it'll be him. He's going to want to prove, or whatever. But
It'd be interesting as another little trivia for him if he ever is inclined.
Well, and he started wearing his cross again. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't want to forget this.
No, listen.
Put it on about a week ago.
Where is it here?
And he said to me, he goes, "Do you know why I always take it off?" I said, "No." He said, "Because it doesn't feel right. So I take it off, and you could have it off for a year or two." He said, "But this time when I put it on, it feels right. It feels okay." And I thought, well, I wonder if that's because I have changed. And he baptized me. And he said to me this as well. He said, "Well, now that I've baptized you, I'm a baptizing Christian." And I think he's twigging on the fact that he's got responsibilities.
Yeah, that's funny.
He goes, "I'm a baptizing Christian." And I said, "Yeah. I don't know what the hell that means, and we can all do it." But for him, it's like
Some
something
responsibility.
hitting him. And I was like, wow, so things are really shifting for him spiritually. And as you and I pray for him together, I'm also praying the same thing. The same thing you say, "Please, Lord, work on his mind, work on his heart, continue to this, open the same things you say, I ask God too." And so it's happening, but he's still got a beer in his hand. I'm like, oh, you could just get rid of the
It'll work out.
beer.
Okay.
But then here I am smoking. So I mean, I know I need to get rid of it.
It's in his timing, right?
But yeah. So it's like maybe, yeah, things are definitely changing. And I
Yeah.
told him, I said, "You remember what I told you after you baptized me?" He's like, "No." I said that's what God thinks that God told me to tell you that that's what you're supposed to be doing is baptizing people. He
And
didn't.
when did you recently tell him that again?
That's just a couple days ago.
Oh gosh.
He
Okay.
didn't say
Hold
anything.
on to your
The
seats,
next
right?
night, he's like, "Oh, I'm a baptizing Christian."
It's
Oh, you
very
know what that
interesting,
means?
right?
And I was
Okay.
like, "No."
Um,
I know
yeah.
it's noon. I don't know if you got to get going.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess I do have somebody after this. Um, but with Star, this may be a good, there may be some venting that needs to vent at Star. How
I
dare she?
did yesterday. Yeah. Well, I was actually kind of yelling at kind of an amorphous being.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I think Star was maybe it, but I couldn't.
But now that,
Yeah.
now that you connect the fact that she was squeezing your fingernail or something,
Just all the manipulation. Pick a name. Here's your spirit guide. Now let me MK Ultra program you. I'm like, I had no idea of any of it. It's just these people are just so depraved, just so sickening. And she was a fat, overweight woman. And I'm just thinking, I wish you died from something already. I don't even know. But it's like, I think, oh, should I not say that? But I'm like,
no, I think that's perfectly fine,
yeah. I
right?
mean, they all need to.
David prayed, Lord, give them what they deserve.
Yeah, yeah. That how she suffered and died.
Absolutely. So, well, you're doing tremendous
Yeah,
work.
thank you. I'll send you the new file and like,
Yeah.
yeah, nitpick it. I'll probably go over it one or two more times, but I think it's there, other than what you might add, and then you can start giving it to whoever you want or everybody you want.
Well,
And
I'm
I'm
still
thinking,
inclined, I'm still inclined to wait until you have gone public.
yeah, I'm
'Cause I
thinking.
would really like people to watch what you've put together. I
Well,
mean,
and it's funny now that this is done, I feel like I can contact Emma because I kept thinking, I don't want to just be another schmuck telling a story. I want to have something to offer.
right.
And I never really put that together till I finished this the other day and I went, oh, okay. And we could have a 2 or 3 hour interview and I could PowerPoint and show her and show the audience,
There
and
you
then
go.
maybe that'll bring some people.
You now are putting together the working knowledge of this.
Curriculum. Yeah, when you
So,
said that, I was like,
I would be there, and I think this other therapist who has been on Emma's show as well, she and I might take a session a day, but the bulk of it will be you
yeah, yeah, I don't
working
mean your
through.
sessions. I just mean for you to do the intro part about like, barriers to therapy or something. But if someone's already going there, then they've crossed that barrier. The only
Yeah,
thing that
there's going to be
my
that
stuff
training process.
does, the only thing that my stuff does is speed up the
There you go.
process
There you go.
instead of floundering and flipping around like
Yeah,
a fish on the. And I guess I should probably reach out to Emma for an interview and I can start presenting this stuff and then we'll
there you
have a
go.
few months for people
Are you okay? Why don't you want me to, although, have you already been on her program?
No,
No, okay,
I've
I can
been
introduce
waiting
the two of
because I
you.
kept thinking, I don't want to just talk about the ugly stuff, but now I have something ready to present.
Yeah,
So,
because I can make the connection. Want me to introduce you?
yes.
Okay, yeah, let me do that. And that's why I'm
I
working
can
hard to
talk
finally,
and we'll figure out where to go from there.
there you go, and
'Cause I
I'm
want to
working
have
hard.
something useful to present, not just another. I know they're not sob stories, but I don't want to just talk
No,
about the abuse.
no, it's
This
all,
is what I've done with it.
there you go.
And
There you go.
yeah, 181 parts in 10 months, something's working.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well,
no,
let me pray. I'll pray.
okay.
And
All right. Thank
this is
you.
tremendous. Lord, thank you. Thank you that Diane and I can continue to work together. And Lord, we do anticipate. I mean, this is a discussion of faith or in faith, and we trust that you're bringing a real team together, Lord, to set captives free. Lord, we'll trust that you're going to continue to lead the way. And thank you for Diana's diligence, continue to bring to mind what she needs to learn and connect with. Lord, thank you for all the parts and their willingness to risk disclosing. Lord, thank you that the chains, the enslavement that all these different evil individuals meant, what they meant for evil, you're setting them free and you're meaning it for good. So we'll continue to trust that you're going to show them how you're going to use those, what Satan meant for evil, what you're going to mean for good, for the deliverance of so many. So thank you for that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Mhm. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Well,
Hey.
I'm glad it.
Okay. Take
Okay.
care.
We'll
Okay.
talk next week.
All righty. Bye.